What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. Today, I want to discuss this Saturday's co-main event. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly and help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. We got Alexander Hernandez taking on Damon Jackson this Saturday in the featherweight division. Man, in a fight that's got finished written all over, right? You got Alexander Hernandez, who has been up and down, right, within the UFC. Started off red hot, taking out Beneil Dariush in his UFC debut. Then had another big victory over OAM, Olivier Aubin-Mercier, if you guys don't know, the PFL champion who just recently retired. He outpaced him, what was it, back in 2018. But then, if everybody knows the famous fight with Donald Cerrone, where Alexander Hernandez talked massive shit about Cowboy going into that fight and ended up getting finished. And, since then, we've seen him rattle off win-loss, win-loss, a little bit of a losing streak at one point. Still dangerous at times, but has since faded when he doesn't find the early success or the early finish. Always fights tough guys. He's a type of fighter who definitely do or die. But man, like his fight with Drew Dober, you see him, like he goes out in these wars with dudes that he needs to pick his shots a little bit better and not empty the gas tank. Like, you can't break everybody with sheer aggression. And that's kind of been a lot of Alexander's issue, is just his inability to slow the fight down and slow himself down, calm himself down a little bit. The Billy Quarantillo fight where, like, he was that close to getting it finished, but when he wasn't able to get it, gassed out and got finished himself. Renato Moicano, he kind of got dominated in that fight. He was just kind of outmatched. But you see flashes, though, of just solid hands, massive power. His fight against Mike Breeden, Chris Grutzmacher. He outpaced Jim Miller back in 2023, but he's coming off the loss to Bill Algeo. I don't necessarily remember that fight so much. October 7th. I think I was out of town for that fight. I don't necessarily remember that fight, but Bill Algeo is a savage himself who just lost last Saturday. But going against Damon Jackson, right, who a pressure fighter, guy who likes to go forward, has very sharp, straight punches, strikes, up kicks, knees up the middle, elbows, straight punches, likes to move forward, has a penchant of ducking a bit and leaving his head open. He's had some knockout losses, some flash knockout losses to guys like Ilia Topuria, Dan Ige, Movlid over at the PFL where he had that flying knee where he got hit with the flying knee and he just went to sleep immediately. It was like he just fell down just gracefully face down, ass up. But Damon, man, he's a very dangerous guy. He's 22-6. That's a pretty solid record, especially before that the two fight losing streak that he's currently on. He was 21-4 over a solid finish victory over a very durable Pat Sabatini, a solid victory over Dan Argueta. I mean, in the UFC, we've seen him have some good success against guys like Charles Rosa as well, right? Mirsad Bektik, he finished Mirsad Bektik. But as they've upped the competition, when he's fought really dangerous strikers, Ilia Topuria, Dan Ige, he got outpaced by Billy Quarantillo. And now he's kind of going up against Alexander Hernandez. Now, Damon Jackson, if he can survive the early onslaught of Alexander Hernandez, we can maybe see Damon finding success with some straight shots, catching Alexander coming in. But I just think that Hernandez is just going to be too much. I think that he's going to be too strong, too athletic. I think that he's just going to have more combinations and more tools in his boxing than Damon is going to be. Damon's a little bit stiff, a little bit stationary, a little bit flat-footed, where I could see Alexander Hernandez kind of floating around a little bit more, being able to kind of get around the octagon a little bit easier using his lateral movements. I can kind of see him just athletically taking over in the fight. Do I see a finish? Maybe. Yeah. It's just, if I don't see a finish with the first 4 minutes, we might be seeing a decision. Then again, who knows, right? But I got Alexander Hernandez in this fight. I think that he's still got it. He's in a do-or-die situation. Same thing with Damon Jackson. But with what I've seen with Damon, how he looked against Billy Q, how he looked against Dan Ige, I think is a pretty good blueprint on how he's going to look against Alexander Hernandez. I know MMA math doesn't work, and sometimes we think guys like just don't really have it anymore. Like I've been fully wrong. Chris Weidman against Bruno Silva. I thought Chris was not going to stand a fucking chance. I knew he was going to have to utilize that grappling like at all costs, which he did. But most recently, like the OSP fight that the Ovin St. Preux fight that he recently had, I thought the guy had no chance. I really honestly thought because of how he had looked recently, I just really thought the guy just was done. And he went out there and proved it and got a really solid victory over Kennedy Nzechukwu. So it just shows sometimes, man, on any given night, any guy can win. But I just think Alexander, I think he's going to be too much. I think he's got too much power in the hands. I think Damon's just too stiff. And I think the athleticism is going to be just very evident in this matchup. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think of this co-main event. Love to hear your guys' thoughts. Thank you for listening to me rant for the last 6 minutes on this fight. This fight, it gets my juices flowing. I like this. I see action-packed. I see two guys going for the finish, and I definitely see somebody's lights going out in this matchup. So, guys, let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Mr. Mustache, MMA news out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.